Hello, 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 learners! A beautiful day to all of us, and you are listening to the WCA 94.5. My name is Noel. I will be your teacher on air. Please prepare your pen and paper and listen attentively because today we will be discussing about raising sensible, challenging, thought-provoking questions in public forums, particularly in seminar and symposium. So, are you ready? Let's start. And before we proceed to our lesson, let me tell you the objectives. First, differentiate seminar and symposium. And our second objective is identify the types of thought-provoking questions. Lastly, students should be able to raise sensible, challenging, thought-provoking questions in public forums. And now that you know our objectives, let's start our lesson with a game. Here is the mechanics. Arrange the jumbled letters to form a word and read the clues below. So we have here letters R, A, N, I, M, E, and letter S. The first clue is it is a noun. Second, it is a conference or other meeting for discussion or training. Last clue, it is considered as a formal presentation by one or more experts in which the attendees are encouraged to discuss the subject matter. So, what is the jumbled word? That is correct. It is seminar. And now let's check the other one. So here we have the letters S, I, U, M, S, Y, M, O, and letter P. The first clue is it is a noun. Second, it is a meeting or conference for the discussion of some subject, especially a meeting at which several speakers talk on or discuss a topic before an audience. Third clue, it is usually used to describe a small conference on a single subject. So, what is the jumbled word? Very good! That is symposium. Now remember class, attending a seminar will help you to be knowledgeable on something. A student like you can attend seminar about how to conduct an interview, how to make a resume, how to cook, and other skills that you want to know. And also you have to remember that in a seminar or symposium, the participants need to participate in a discussion. They also need to prepare challenging, sensible, thought-provoking questions to make the discussion more alive. And now that you know the difference between seminar and symposium, let me read the situation below, then answer the question that follows. Elias Masigasig has a 10-hectare farm with abaca plants. Yearly, he is helping many farmers in Bicol. Aside from farmers, he has female workers who are experts in making handbags and slippers. Elias was thinking of other products that they could produce out of abaca plants. He asked his workers to give him an advice. One of his workers advised him to attend a seminar on how to make lamps, carpets, accessories, hats, furniture, clothing, and wall coverings. Elias Masigasig was so happy with this brilliant idea. And now let us answer the following questions. First, where do we usually find abaca plants? That is correct. We usually find abaca plants in Bicol. Next question. Who is the owner of the farm? Very good. Elias Masigasig is the owner of the farm. Next question. What products are usually made of abaca plants? That's correct. The products that are usually made of abaca plants are handbags, sleepers, lamps, carpets, accessories, hats, furniture, clothing, and wall coverings. Next question. What is the advice of Elias worker? Anyone who can remember? It has something to do with our lesson for today. Correct. The advice of Elias worker is for him to attend a seminar on how to make other products made of abaca plants. Last question. Is the idea of attending seminar a good idea? Why? The answer is the idea of attending a seminar is good, especially on the case of Elias Masigasig. If Elias will be knowledgeable on other products made of abaca, he can be able to help people to be more progressive. Okay, thank you for answering all of those questions. And now, and now that you answered those thought-provoking questions, let me discuss its different types. By the way, when we say thought-provoking questions, these are questions that aims to challenge or cause someone to think, especially about things they have not thought about before. Okay, the first type of thought-provoking question is moral or ethical dilemma. Moral or ethical dilemmas ask questions about moral and ethical concerns. So this question attacks your moral values. Example, is divorce acceptable to our society? Why? So some of you may answer no, because it is against the teachings of God. Or maybe some of you will say, yes, it is acceptable because some wives are being abused by their husbands and only divorce is the only remedy for it to stop. So here again, it attacks your moral values. The next type of question is assess, diagnose, act. This question asks through the process of problem solving. Here are the examples. For assessment, what is the issue or problem at hand? So here you are trying to assess what is the problem at hand. You want to know the problem or the conflict. For diagnosis, what is the root cause of this issue or problem? So here you want to analyze. You want to know the root cause of the problem. For action, how can we solve the issue? In action, you are asking for the step-by-step procedure to solve the issue. And next, compare and contrast. So the aim of this question is for us to identify the differences and similarities between ideas. For example, differentiate climate change and global warming. So here you are going to state what are the differences of the two and their similarities. And our next type of thought-provoking question is interpretive evaluative. Here we are asking questions about the intentions or goals of the author, creator, character, and so forth. Then ask questions to evaluate the veracity or the truth of these intentions, and finally the effectiveness of the methods used. Here is an example. Is it better to use this type of chart? Why? So here you are asking for the intention or the goal of the author or creator or the character. Why is it better to use this type of chart? Then you are going to evaluate the intention by asking why. And also we have the conceptual changes. Ask questions based on their self-reflection. So here is an example. Which method is the best? So here this type of question is answered through self-reflection or your own opinion. And lastly, we have the personal exploration. Here we ask questions based on one's personal idea or exploration, or sometimes experience. Example, what does brotherhood mean to you? So here some might answer that brotherhood helps them to achieve their goals. It depends on the person answering the question. Okay? All right. And now that you know the different types of thought-provoking questions, let us move on to the close-ended and open-ended question. First, let me define the difference between the two. Open-ended questions are free-form survey questions that allow respondents to answer in open text format so that they can answer based on their complete knowledge, feeling, understanding. It means that The response to this question is not limited to a set of options. Meanwhile, a close-ended question can be answered by yes or no, or sometimes through given options. Here are examples of open-ended questions. First, how would you patronize local goods? You cannot answer this question by yes or no. Second, what are the ways on how you can help your nation to be more progressive? This one requires a lengthy answers. Third, what did you realize after the symposium? Okay, now here are the examples for close-ended questions. First one, is that your final answer? You can say yes, you can say no. Second, will you be my wife? Well, if you love the guy, say yes, but if not, say no. Lastly, did you already eat? Again, this is answerable by yes or no. So those are the examples for our open-ended and closed. Now let us answer this guided practice number 1 about thought-provoking questions. Instructions: read the following questions, then identify the kind of question. First one, the question is, what is the existing problem? So what is your answer? Is it letter A, assess, diagnose, act? B, compare and contrast? C, interpretive, evaluative? And D, personal exploration? That is right. The answer is letter A, assess, diagnose, act. Second question, what option is better? What is your answer? Is it A, assess, diagnose, act? B, compare and contrast? C, interpretive, evaluative? D, personal exploration? Very good. Since the question is asking for the option which is better, then you are trying to get the comparison. So the answer is letter B, compare and contrast. Next question. What is the best solution for this? Is it A, assess, diagnose, act? B, compare and contrast? C, interpretive, evaluative? D, personal exploration? That is correct. The answer is letter C, interpretive, evaluative. Next question. What does friendship mean to you? Is this A, assess, diagnose, act? B, compare and contrast? C, interpretive, evaluative? Or D, personal exploration? Your answer is correct. It's letter D, personal exploration. Because for you to answer this question, it needs to be personal or through your experience. And our next question, is sukang Ilocos better than other vinegar? Is it A, assess, diagnose, act? B. Compare and contrast. C. Interpretive, evaluative. D. Personal exploration. Again, this question is trying to get the comparison of Sukang Ilocos and other vinegar. So the answer is, that's right, letter B, compare and contrast. Okay, so now that we're done with the guided practice 1 for thought-provoking questions, let us proceed with the guided practice 2 for open-ended and close-ended questions. Instructions: read the following questions, then identify the kind of question. Number 1. How do you cook pork sinigang? Is it open-ended or close-ended? Correct. It is an open-ended question. Number 2. What are the lessons you learned as a Miss Universe? Very good. Again, this is an open-ended question. Next, can we meet tomorrow at the cafeteria? Perfect. Since this question can be answered by yes or no, the answer is close-ended question. And number 4, where did you get all that information? That is right. It is an open-ended question. And lastly, have you experienced falling in love with someone who doesn't love you? I know this question hurts, but it is a close-ended question. You can answer this via yes or no. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. Before we end the lesson, let me leave you a Chinese proverb. He who asks a question remains a fool for 5 minutes, and he who does not ask remains a fool forever. And that is all for today. Thank you for listening. And please stay tuned for our next lesson. Again, I am Teacher Noel, your teacher on air. You have a good day. Bye now.